What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, here. This is Bill Mack with Pro Wrestling Unleashed, and this is your SmackDown Live review. Yes, I'm coming at you with another video of what happens and sum up the results from WWE SmackDown Live. Hope you enjoyed the videos. I try to put as much wrestling content, whether it gets the views or not. I really am just trying my best to put out the wrestling news for you fans and the best platform that I can do. SmackDown Live was pretty decent this week overall. We had a lot going on, so I'll get right into the video for you. Up first, we see that AJ Styles is talking to Daniel Bryan. As Daniel Bryan's show opens up, he's talking on his cell phone, and we basically figure he's probably talking to Shane, which I think that's what he's doing. But we see AJ is asking about Shane. Daniel Bryan tells AJ that he'll be there in a little while. And so AJ ends up going to the ring, and he cuts a really good promo about how he doesn't have a match, and he's the most phenomenal wrestler in WWE, and he's the one that doesn't have a match at WWE, and how he felt like Shane was out to screw him, Daniel Bryan was out to screw him. He talks about what possibly his career and defining moment in WWE, and he seems very upset, and he goes to the back and he says something about, he makes a remark of about his career. He says, "If I still have one," and so it rises a little bit of what's basically going to happen, maybe foreshadowing what's going to happen in later on in the show. So we have first matchup. We have Natalya taking on Becky Lynch. As we saw last week, it cuts to the replay that during the tag match, Natalya turns on Becky Lynch, enabling Mickie James and Alexa Bliss to get the win. So this is basically a rematch of between the two, and basically Mickie James. Mickie James ends up getting the not Mickie James, Becky Lynch, excuse me. Becky Lynch ends up getting the victory with the disarmer. And then out of nowhere, Carmella attacks Becky Lynch from behind. So it looks like it's going to set up a feud between Becky Lynch and Carmella now. So whoopee, we're going to just see how that feud's going to end up with between Carmella and Becky Lynch. So. Then we see AJ in the back, and we see him pacing around in the garage area. It looks like where the superstars come in, and we see him pacing around, waiting on Shane to get there. Obviously, that's a bad sign to see AJ out in the garage waiting on Shane to make his arrival. Then we cut to a good segment here at Miz TV. Miz is in the ring with Maurice, and he talks about how he and Maurice are the it couple in WWE, and it shows replay back of last week whenever John Cena and Nikki Bella defeated Ellsworth and Carmella, how the Miz and Maurice end up attacking them. He goes on to talk about how it shows also the promo that the Miz cut on John Cena was talking smack after SmackDown last week. So it's culminating to tonight to where we see the Miz cut a really great promo in the ring, talking about how it's funny how the Undertaker shakes his hand when he comes in, and then Kurt Angle has a match with him and says, "Hey, this kid's got it," and then how he was having a claw and scratch and not really wasn't given that go, and most people telling him he would be gone after 3 months. So he cuts this compelling promo. Then we see Maurice. She cuts a promo on Nikki, talking about how Nikki basically undermined her when it came to the because originally Maurice said she was scheduled to be on the first season of Total Divas, and she claims Nikki told her that don't worry, she'd about handle the contract. They were going to get more money. WWE turns it down. Next thing she turns around, Nikki ends up getting on Total Divas, and Maurice is left out in the cold. So she feels bitter by that. She says that John Cena will that Nikki will never be her. She'll be better because she has this. And then she holds up her hand and shows that her wedding band on there, and they talk about how John Cena will never marry her, which leads up to basically, what's going to happen, folks. It's going to lead into WrestleMania where John's going to propose to her, and they've already told that ahead of time, which really is a spoiler of that. Who really cares? But that's basically what they tell us. And then it's more than John Cena and Nikki are hearing. It's more than enough for them to hear, cause them to come out and chase them out of the ring. And then the Miz says he's not going to that John's not going to make a matchup, and so we end up seeing them two going back and forth. And then as they go to leave, John Cena. Daniel Bryan comes out. Daniel Bryan says, you're not the commissioner, Miz, and you two, you both of you couples are basically you're used to talking and running, talking and running. That's how you do it. So basically now we see that. Basically, now we see that he sets up a match at WrestleMania as we all expected. The mixed tag between John Cena and Nikki Bella taking on the Miz and Maurice. So pretty much just set up this matchup as we go along tonight. And Daniel cuts a good promo, and he's talking about how the Miz was he wants to punch Miz in the face, and how Miz makes fun of him. He knows that Daniel Bryan can't touch him, and all this kind of stuff. So good, compelling, good personal background within this matchup. So I think it turns. I think this is a good setup to lead into WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan showing his emotion. And lots been made about Daniel Bryan in the past because WWE won't allow him to wrestle. So there's a lot of the issues going on with that. But I love how WWE on SmackDown is using a lot of real life stuff to shoot along with their storylines. It makes them more compelling, makes you want to watch more. That's why, to me, SmackDown is the better show between SmackDown and Raw. So we get into the back end. We see Renee says she seems worried that AJ is may do something drastic. AJ said, well, the WrestleMania is entitled the Ultimate Thrill Ride this year, and he might as well go ahead and get his thrill ride since he doesn't have a match. Shane pulls up. Shane gets out of his car. AJ attacks him, throws him into a bunch of the stuff in the back, unloads a bunch of rights on him, ends up throwing Shane head first into a car window and busting him open on the side of his head. So we see that taking effect. And then as feeling a lot of the referees and medics are around, AJ ends up kicking him in the head as well. So, and then he leaves. So we see that they're talking to him in the back, and the EMTs couldn't get Shane to go to the hospital to be checked out. So they end up convincing him to go to the trainer's room. We see AJ in the back putting his jacket on and stuff because he kind of knew, he was walking out. Usos like, man, you can't do that. Usos were even sitting in their heels. Why'd you do that? And then we see that Daniel Bryan, he meets Daniel Bryan on the outside, and then AJ says, "What are you going to do?" And he said, "It ain't like you. What you going to do? Fire me?" And AJ said, and Daniel Bryan said, "Yeah, we're going to fire you. Get out of the building," and has the security to escort AJ Styles out of the arena. So we go back to the ring. Mojo Rawley is taking on Ziggler. Weird matchup. Mojo's doing okay. He's basically still green in the ring. Ziggler, is a good worker. They go back and forth a little bit. And then just some mysteriously, when AJ, the second time Dolph gets thrown out of the ring, he just stands on the outside, looks at Mojo, takes a 10 count, and gets counted out. Mojo gets the win. Now remember, this was set up from last week when Mojo announced that he was going to be the first SmackDown Live entrant into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So this little feud between them is happening. It looks like, from what I can gather, from what it looks like, they may have a feud, but just remains to be seen. Up next, we cut to Randy Orton, the Viper. Cuts a good promo on Bray about how you can learn a lot from a Viper, and how he got under the radar with Bray, how he got him in within Bray's. He says if you can't beat him, then join him and then screw him. He gives a good promo. Bray comes on to Titantron. Bray talks about how you didn't really kill Sister Abigail because her spirit dwells within him. And then in the end, he just takes dirt, I guess, from Abigail's remains, or the dirt that's there from the grave, and he just basically rubs it all over himself. So maybe this is a reinvention of Bray. He's going to turn a little bit wickeder, which is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for his character to basically to really grow and be strong within. With him, get that back to that wicked character before. So before we get into the next matchups and winding down SmackDown, we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back, folks. So just hang on tight. And then we're moving on, folks. We see they showed the replay for last week's what happened to Dean Ambrose and between Baron Corbin. Remember, Ambrose was seeking out Corbin for the last few weeks. Corbin's been on the Titantron. Ambrose has been trying to call him out. Now Ambrose says, if you're not going to come out, I'm going to find you. Ambrose goes to the back, and lo and behold, Baron Corbin is laying in wait and hiding. He attacks Ambrose from behind with the pipe. Then he ends up, punching him a little bit, gets him underneath the forklift, and takes the front of the forklift and just sets it down over the top of Ambrose. Good moment in SmackDown to see that happen, to see that forklift, to see just how, hatred that Baron has for him. And we see that, he cuts a good promo in the back, talking in an interview about how he's going to take down Dean Ambrose, and how he's going to basically he's going to get his that WWE Intercontinental title. So good promo for Baron in the back. He's picking up steam as a good, decent heel for SmackDown, which is what you want to do, is have a good heel for that. So then we cut to the ring. We see this is the near the main event. This is the American Alphas, which I didn't see them cut a promo or anything throughout the whole matchup. Or the whole wrestling, show. So they just all that. I guess that was your main event, was the American Alphas defending against the Usos. And it was a decent match. It was a short match. I mean, athleticism, but we end up seeing the Usos get the win as when he gets pushed off the top rope, and then one of the Usos ends up giving a super kick, which gets to 1, 2, 3. Usos now, and I guess you're going to have that's a non-title match, but it's good that you have the Usos, even though they're heels, getting a to win defeat, because you can't always have the faces winning every single week. You got to have it a good back and forth where it seems like they're going to have a good matchup. The Usos have been in WWE for a while now. The American Alphas are the fresh face from NXT that came up through the draft. So good to see a good storyline with them coming in. We see, and while this match is going on, we see Shane and Fit Finlay, the referee, coming down the back, and JBL's like, I don't know where he's going. I don't know, he should be going to the hospital. He's being stubborn. I know that McMahons are stubborn, but he needs to really go to the hospital. So then we see, after the matchup and everything, they cut to the front, and we see Shane coming out. His shirt's ripped up a little bit, and he's got it's showing his head where he gotten cut from the sustained from the broken car window, and he announces, says AJ says he doesn't have an opponent for WrestleMania. He says now he does, and then he throws down the towel and he walks out, and that ends the show. So it looks like this is another matchup set up for WrestleMania. From the SmackDown Live side is Shane taking on AJ Styles. Even Corey Graves mentioned earlier that we're talking about on Bring It. On WWE Network after Raw, Corey, they kind of try to fake kayfabe, and between that and reality, it was kind of more of a shoot, and he's like, I don't know if the fans really want to see that. AJ's got he's got very good wrestling skills. He's talented. Shane's an on-air act. Really shouldn't this shouldn't be really a match. AJ should have a real good match with honing his skills in and whatnot. Really, this is what it should be. Thought it was a good promo, and really it does kind of make tension. But, of course, AJ's, in there. This is his first year, so he's not really going to turn that matchup down. AJ will just put on another phenomenal match, as he always does. Let's just hope Shane can keep up with him, because as of last year, Shane fought The Undertaker. Shane was the one doing the high spot stuff. Undertaker was more of grounded, slow mat. AJ's more of all over the place. He can do about any kind of match you want. So I know AJ's going to do the best in this matchup we can. So now we've set in motion in a quick 2-week period of time. We go from last week where AJ's upset. He feels like he got robbed. This week, we see him automatically take it out Shane. So they're kind of speeding up this storyline to get it in before WrestleMania. WrestleMania is like less than 3 weeks away. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope you folks have enjoyed this WWE SmackDown Live review. And if you like this video, drop a like on it, folks. Leave any comments in the description. Subscribe to my channels. I try to get more content out to you. Hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, this is Bill Mack here with Pro Wrestling Unleashed. Take it easy. Yeah.